Hello! This is my second attempt at filming this video because I filmed it this morning before I went to work in vain because there was some sort of technical difficulty and basically the videos that I took on my Canon aren't converting over to my laptop. So I'm really sorry about the lack of picture quality and the lighting. It's 10 o'clock at night right now, but I told myself and I scheduled that I was going to make this video today, and I kind of promised it in a post I just published on my blog a couple of days ago. So I'm saying it, I'm going to just keep going, but like I said, if you're brand new here, I promise the picture quality usually isn't this bad. I'm just filming on my iPhone just basically to get the video up. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience travelling with Korean Air from JFK to Seoul Incheon Airport. If you are new here, or if you've not seen the video that I already made, I made an airline review video around 7 weeks ago, when I flew from my next door neighbours using their taps. Can you hear it? What was I saying? Yeah, I made an airline review video for the very first time around 7 weeks ago, when I flew with the budget airline Norwegian Air. Flew from Dublin to Stewart International in kind of upstate-ish New York. It performed really well. I had really great feedback from it. What I used to do was physically write airline reviews, but I guess this is maybe more like having a conversation with someone as opposed to having to read all the information. I know for me, when it comes to education, I would much rather read, but when it comes to just finding out things about life, I would rather just have a conversation with someone and have them tell me their opinion, rather than be like dictated to like I'm reading an essay. So I will continue to write like physical airline reviews, but I just feel like it's a good chance for me to kind of get some things off my chest and yeah, just kind of tell you like a friend would what my opinion is. So like last time, I'm going to go through every single step of the process, all the way from searching for my flights, booking my flights, the check-in process, my experience like getting on the plane, luggage, things like that, pricing obviously, what else, experience on the plane, in-flight entertainment, customer service, food, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let me start from the beginning. So I had to book my flight very last minute. If you're not aware, I live in South Korea now. I am obviously Scottish or British. I had to book it very last minute because my visa came very late. So I went on vacation to the States for around 10 days and I had to fly from one of the New York airports. I was living in Jersey with my mum, and ideally I would have liked to have flown from Newark, but there were no direct flights from Newark to Seoul. So I had to like bite the bullet and take a car to JFK. My flight cost $685 direct one way. It was a 14-hour and 20-minute flight, which is the longest flight I've ever been on in my life. The second to that, I flew 13 hours from Kuala Lumpur to London in 2015. But I don't know, that was the first time I'd ever travelled long haul, like seriously long haul to Asia anyway. And I was excited. I just turned 20. I was all excited about being away. But now it was like a little bit more of a chore for me, if I'm being perfectly honest. But the experience, as you'll see as the video goes on, it was very painless and I really thoroughly enjoyed it actually. So yeah, $685. You could either book it directly through Korean Air or you could book it with Delta. If I'm not wrong in saying, I think it was 8,000 kilometers or 11,000 kilometers. One or the other. Definitely one or the other anyway. I'm going to say 11. I think it was around 8,000 miles, 11,000 kilometers. Yeah, that rings more of a bell. So yeah, I managed to collect my air miles for that. Very expensive. If you're booking a return, obviously it's going to work out cheaper. But like I said, it was super last minute, direct flight with a really good airline. So I wasn't complaining, but I was pretty happy to pay it. Plus, part of my contract stipulated that my flight would be reimbursed by my new employer, so I didn't have to worry about that so much. Obviously the initial outlay, but like it was coming back. I just for like reference, I managed to find flights to San Francisco this January, so I'm booking 4 months in advance. Return for £600 from Seoul, which is around $850. So obviously I was really last minute. You might be turned off a bit because it was so expensive, but if you do book in advance, it's much more reasonable. And I feel like even though it is still super expensive, it's important to remember just how far away Korea is. I'm not sure where you're watching from, but certainly from either coast of America, anywhere in Europe, even Southeast Asia, Thailand's 5 hours away from here. Like, it's very remote, you could say, because Russia's on one side, unless you're really in Japan or like the very, very easternmost parts of Russia, you're going to be on a plane for quite a few hours to get here. Okay, so when I booked my flight, I downloaded the Korean Air app and I just checked in online, put all my like advanced passenger information on the app, passport number, and I just downloaded my boarding pass onto my phone. So that meant when I got to JFK, there were 2 kiosks allotted to just bag drop, and then 6 or 7 allotted to people who had to check in and drop their bags. I cannot emphasize enough how much I can recommend checking in online beforehand and getting your boarding pass beforehand. I did not wait a single second. I was the only person at bag drop. The queue for check-in was like, it was miles long. I did feel bad because everyone was looking at me like, but it's not my fault. I done the smart thing and checked in online. If you're not like super tech savvy, then I would really maybe phone the airline, ask how to do it, ask like someone in your family or a friend or someone even online that, I mean, ask me, I'll help you if you don't know how to do it, but I really would recommend checking in online because you save a mountain of time. So I got to JFK 3 hours before my flight. I got off at the Korean Air desks, walked through, found my desk, dropped my bags off, and I was in the queue for TSA within 10 minutes of being dropped. So, I mean, I would probably have had to wait like 30-45 minutes in that queue had I not checked in prior. And one of the best things I will say about Korean Air is you get standard economy. You get 2 23 kilo / 50 pounds checked bags, plus an 7 or 8 kilos hand luggage, like roll-on bag, and you get like a personal item, so whether that be a laptop bag, a computer, a rucksack, backpack, so you get a lot of luggage for your money. I think business class, I want to say you get to 32 kilo bags, which amounts to around £80 maybe. I'll list all the FAQs and the luggage information in the description box below. And then for first class you get 3 cases. So I mean the luggage allowance is just, it really is phenomenal. Especially like I was saying, it's so far away. Chances are you're going to be here for a little while, so you don't have to worry about paying for extra cases. It's the only airline I've ever travelled with in my whole life, and I've travelled with a lot of airlines, like maybe over 20, maybe over 30 airlines I've travelled with, and I've never experienced that ever in my life. Usually it's the total opposite, you get basically nothing, so can't recommend them enough for that reason, and that, like, I just feel like that's a good enough reason to book with them anyway. Another great thing is they do obviously fly direct to the major hubs in the United States, so you can fly direct from Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, you can fly San Francisco, LAX, loads and loads of places in the United States you can fly direct. Other airlines like Cathay Pacific, you would have to stop in Hong Kong. Etihad, you have to stop in Abu Dhabi, Emirates, so on and so forth. So because it's the domestic national carrier, you can fly direct from Seoul, and Seoul Incheon is the Korean Air hub airport. So yeah, really good for that reason. So once I got through TSA, it took hours. JFK's a nightmare. If you haven't read my post on my opinions on New York City airports and what I think's the best, whatever, I'll link it in the description box below. But my feelings are out there, my feelings on JFK, but that's not Korean Air's fault. So by the time I got through, I met a girl that I was flying with because we were on our training week together, and then we like had a drink, boarding call, we went, checked in. So I was in standard economy. It was an Airbus A380 300, so the double decker Airbuses. It was huge, biggest plane I've ever been on. And it was in a 343 configuration. So the ground floor, or the first floor, is entirely economy, and then upstairs is business and first. There was two separate entrances, like two kind of gangways, walkways. One for our level and then one for the top level, and inside the plane there were sets of stairs at the front and the back of the cabin so that you could walk up and down. So I think I was in the third section. I think I was in seat 49F or 49E. I was second in. I had 3 Korean ladies in my row, super kind, really lovely. We took off punctually, no issues. I'll insert some footage here of what the plane looked like. So the A380 Airbuses have 33 to 34 inches of legroom, which is a little bit above the kind of average you get around the world. It's usually around 32 inches. So for me, I'm not short, but I'm 5'4", so it doesn't really make a difference for me. But if you are taller, I'm sure those extra few inches of legroom really do make a difference, especially when you're flying for such a long time. Like most kind of higher end long haul carriers, they provided water, sleep masks, slippers, toothbrush, toothpaste. Like obviously in the little pouch in front there was the duty free form. There was, what else was there? There was safety information and just like a magazine. You know how they have like their own magazines. In-flight entertainment was fantastic. There wasn't any Wi-Fi, but I'm not sure if that's the case for only economy. I'm not sure if you book business or class if you get Wi-Fi or not, but I didn't have Wi-Fi. There was places to charge electronics, which Norwegian Air never had, but anyway. Yeah, it was just great. Honestly, it was fantastic. So after around an hour, we were given our first food service. First of all, I had chicken with some vegetables. I always go for chicken. I've heard some recommendations saying that kind of eat what the locals eat, but I find that chicken's a kind of staple on all airlines. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you're in kind of like the Middle East, I've passed through the Middle East and went to Sri Lanka before, and it's like a kind of curried chicken. Southeast Asia, it's usually something with like rice. More like Europe and America, it's usually like a roast with gravy and vegetables. 9 times out of 10 it's really good, so I always just stick to chicken. But there was a Korean dish, I'm pretty sure it was beef with noodles and a red chili paste. So it was really good. They gave us complimentary drinks. You could have had as many as you want. For reasons beyond my control, I just had the 1 glass of wine. I had a health check on the Monday and I was basically too scared to drink anything, so I just left it. But yeah, you can drink as much as you want as long as you don't start fighting with anyone. And what else? So in-flight entertainment was amazing. I watched a movie and then after we ate, and then I passed out for I think like 6 hours. Honestly, I can never sleep on planes, but there was just something about it. And then I woke up, the woman beside me was awake and she was like, come and see something. So she took me to the back of the plane and there was like a little store. It was kind of like a little duty free store. It was very fancy. I've never seen anything like it on a plane, and that's where I saw the staircase up. Another thing I'll say about the cabins is there was a lot of toilets. Now there was probably over 1,000 people on the plane, so I guess it's a good thing. Do you think there was as many as 1,000? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe like 500. I don't know. There was a lot of people anyway, okay? But there was a lot of toilets and they were immaculate. I'm not sure if they were like clean during the flight or whatever, but it was immaculate and it smelled really good, which I'm sure you know if you've ever been in an airplane toilet, usually isn't the case. For breakfast, it was around 2 hours before landing, 2.5 hours before landing. I had eggs with some sausage and some fruit. It was delicious. The food was great. Air hostesses were super helpful. I actually don't think I had to ask for anything. Because I brought water with I brought a refillable water bottle. They gave us water, and then I had water, so I didn't really need anything. But from kind of what I could see and what I overheard, super friendly, super polite, super professional. I was really impressed. Honestly, I was so impressed. So I guess my kind of final thoughts are: would I recommend you fly with them? Absolutely. They were top notch. Think like Korean BA, basically. That's the level of service you're going to get, if not more. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or whatever, but I just found the staff to be just so lovely. Lovelier than I've normally experienced on planes. And yeah, I just had a great time. So, I mean, I hope this helps at least someone if you've never flown Canadian or you're kind of deciding between two airlines or whatever. I hope this kind of convinces you to fly with them. I have tons of airline reviews for other airline carriers that cater to this part of the world, AirAsia, etc., etc., Hong Kong Air, China Southern, China Eastern, all those airlines. I have full reviews on my blog, so I'll put a link to the airlines tab in the description box below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, then please do click subscribe, because the number's like increasing and I want it to keep increasing. So yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to watch it, and I will see you in my next video.